How you been?
Good.
Well, it's been a little while since all the stuff we had going.
Yep.
Lord. I finally got her tree straightened up.
Did you?
Well, that's the second time down there. It takes 3.5 hours to get down there to her place, you know.
Where is it?
It's in Navasota, which is just south of A&M down there. And man, alive. But how I ended up doing it was taking two by 6 by 12 footers and doing a cross with it and having a bolt between them. And that way, you kind of, when it's laying straight flat up, it would pick it up off the ground a little bit.
Yeah, I made you some gin poles.
Gin pole.
Gin poles.
I needed some gin time I got through that sucker. Took the father-in-law down there, you know, and he's like 89 years old.
He could supervise.
Oh, man. But we braced the far out of it this time. Last time we had some braces, you know, and
What kind of tree is it?
it's a weeping willow tree.
Huh.
It doesn't look like it's that heavy,
Yeah,
but it's got all that leaves and stuff on it, and that sucker
and when
was,
it gets wet, just that much extra weight on it.
yeah. But you know, that's my only daughter, and then you know I got that boy of mine, and I can't do much of anything for him except build guitars. Cause he's too far away to do much for him.
Yeah.
The last up we talked about, you know, we didn't get to do the update for that hardcore that last week. That last week was on the 20th. You know, and I don't remember you didn't come up all that great on that. You know, I don't. What did you do that day? Now, what part of the lake do you remember? What lake?
Yeah, hardcore. We fished section 3, which is from
the west side,
515 west north.
Yeah. Okay.
And I went looking for deep fish, and once again I looked in the wrong place.
Oh, really?
Everybody they caught frogfish, caught them shallow.
Really? So what part of the lake were you fishing on that?
You back up and think. We went up in Birch
Creek.
Yeah, Birch Creek. Fished there above. Well, we went above the 2946,
That bridge,
whatever that is.
515, 514.
Yeah, went up north of there and fished around and came back down and just hit every deep spot I could think of that I thought ought to have fish on it.
So you fishing flukes? Is that what you were doing out there? Or
primarily flukes and baby brush hogs. Yeah.
Okay.
And throwing a crankbait. We caught fish on practice day. The flukes, baby brush hogs, you know, stuff like that. And you go back on tournament day, and they will have nothing to do with it. It's just,
you know, that's,
the water level has been fluctuating. It's full one day.
Well, yeah.
And they dropped it the next.
I've been noticing that. They had it, I mean, just blaring out there, and then that shut off to a trickle.
Yeah, shut it off. And that just, I didn't adjust rapidly enough. You know, that's the story of my life. You know?
Mine too.
Yeah.
So where did the people that won it? They were up in the shallow waters.
They were primarily up in the shallow waters. Yeah, they were Jack White fishes in the back of some coves there close to where he lives, and some of the guys I think went way up north. And it's been so long, I really don't specifically remember, but I do remember they were shallow and I was deep.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that's and the same sort of thing happened on the next one.
Oh, the JC. You had like JC Solo, I think.
Yeah,
was
JC
Sunday.
Solo. Yeah, I finished fourth in it. Should have finished second. I couldn't have beat the guy in first place, but if I had a fish that was poorly all day long, but he was alive up until 1 o'clock. And I get to the weigh-in at 3, and he's bellied up, and his gills are pink. I mean, he hadn't been dead long, but he's been dead long enough to cost me a half a pound and moved me from second down to fourth place. But I caught a lot of fish, really did. And then,
so what part of the lake were you fishing for that?
Now that was I was fishing the Caney Creek side, the big Caney, up north, Glade and everything over there.
In Glade, or you were?
Well, actually, I caught fish in Glade. I caught fish at Bird Island. I started at Bird Island.
Down here?
Yeah, had a limit at 7. and had culled 3 or 4 times by the time the bite quit there. And I went up to Glade and hit one spot and culled again. I mean, several fish.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
And then I went to the last spot where I caught fish, and I culled everything at that last spot. I culled them all except for the one that I caught down at Bird Island early in the morning that was sick. You know, I couldn't get rid of him. He was big. He was a pretty good sized fish.
He's a nice fish, yeah.
But
so were you back on the east side again, like what we were talking about?
No, I was on the west side.
On the west side this time. Okay.
There's a ridge that runs out there, but the fish were right up on the bank.
Okay.
Just right up in there.
So how were you fishing for that?
I was
up in there?
throwing a Carolina rig fluke.
Flukes.
Yeah.
Still sticking with that.
Carolina rig fluke, and before the sun came up, I was do real good early in the morning on a chartreuse pepper ring fry or stud fry, and that's what I started with chartreuse pepper, stud fry, ring fry. And then when they quit biting that, I switch over to the cotton candy fluke, and you know, the bite continues. But it's interesting. They'll bite up till about 8 o'clock, and then you just turn that switch off, and they don't bite there again. So we went into Glade, and, like I say, fished in there, and got the last bite at 11 o'clock. Come to weigh in at 3, get to talking to the guys, a couple of them that I knew that finished above me. And they didn't start catching fish until 11 o'clock. They said they were just afraid they were in trouble because they couldn't catch anything early. And I said, well, that's really.
I wonder what part of the lake they were in. Let's see, LFA you fish whole lake.
They can fish anywhere, yeah. But I thought that's really strange.
That is, yeah.
That 11 was mine, was when it was all over with, and 11's when it began for them.
That sounds like a lighting difference, you know. Maybe the differences in lighting. That's just a weird.
It really is. It's, you know, there was the guy that won it had one fish that weighed 2.80. That's a big under the slot fish. Mm-hmm. That's 2 pounds 12 ounces and 16-inch fish. It was a football.
Good.
And he had over 10 pounds for 5 fish, so he had over a 2.5 pound average. Which is big fish. Yeah. You know, I'd love to know where that was.
Y'all didn't talk about that then, I guess.
That, you know, it's.
I mean, you guys do talk about it. You just don't have time a lot of times.
Well, and you don't ask. There's some questions you don't ask, and that's if they volunteer information, that's great. Then you can follow up on it. But just walking in and saying, "Where'd you catch them? Where'd you catch them?" You don't do that.
Well, you know, I've done that with you. I don't know if you've noticed. There's been a few times that I wouldn't ask you, because I thought, well, you probably got to the tournament the next day or something, and I really don't need to ask that. You know, it is interesting if you do, you know, provide that, but we're not trying to mess up your fishing here either, you know. So, but anyway, you had hardcore LFA last week.
Yeah.
And it didn't do too well for you.
No, it didn't. Had some fish, but just couldn't get the bites. And again, we caught fish on practice day. We caught good fish on practice day, and we didn't hammer on them. We'd just go in and we'd catch one and we'd leave. And we went back to those places on tournament day, and you know.
This was last Thursday.
This was Thursday.
This is the 27th is when that was.
Sunday. Today's Monday, and it was last preceding Thursday. Of course,
now you pre-fish one day or two?
One day. Pre-fish Wednesday. Okay. Of course, they had the gates open Wednesday, and the fish bit. Okay, fish bit good. Thursday, I was told they'd closed them.
Okay.
Thought, okay, will be. Well, the fish didn't bite.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know whether that's. I don't understand the thing about the gates being open affecting the fish, because you hear on the pros when they're fishing these lakes that are power plant lakes, they usually don't catch fish unless they're pulling water making electricity, which sets up a current. Well, what's the difference between doing that and opening the gates at Lake Fork? It sets up a current. You know, And I know Bob Sandlin was notorious when I used to fish up there a lot. If the gates were open, you might as well stay at home. You're not going to catch anything.
Uh-huh.
But why? I've never had an explanation for what the effect is.
I don't know, but I know back when Daddy and them were catfishing on Red River, those guys come over with those telephones and the electric current.
Yeah.
You forget about catching anything during that time. They were, it shut all the catching part of it. Now I don't know if there's any generations, any voltage of some kind, maybe some kind of way transferred to water like that, but
It's something happens.
yeah, that's weird.
It is. But
No, you didn't think, you think you get hungry every day, pretty much.
You'd think they'd want something to eat. That is true.
Unless it was just so good the day before,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
And if the fish, I do not believe the fish leave the area. I think they're there. Now they might move out in a little bit deeper water, but I've not even proved that out because if I don't catch them shallow, if I've been catching them shallow and they're not shallow, I'll move over to the nearest break line where it drops off a little deeper and fish that. And it just hasn't worked.
yeah, well, people think that there's something magic about it, but I mean, how long have you been fishing? And you're still having problems with that?
And interestingly enough, last week, the guides were they really had problems.
Oh, really?
The guides, most of them were calling and canceling trips.
Really?
Telling people the fish just aren't biting. And yet, if you look at the weights, we had some guys, Gary Pardini from Tyler, caught him having over 24.5 inches, and he had a heck of a bag of fish, but he caught them on frogs.
Yeah.
And all the good stringers again were caught on frogs. So Charlie and I went out for the Lake Fork, the JC Outdoors team.
This is Sunday?
This is Sunday.
Yeah, this
we went
was
out for
29th.
29th. We went out Saturday or Friday pre-fishing. No, went out Friday pre-fishing, throwing frogs, and we never got a boil on a frog. We fished frogs and it was overcast. No, Saturday, Friday it wasn't. It was bright. We laid it off to that. Saturday it was big time overcast, and we threw those frogs, whopper ploppers, yellow magics, and all sorts of stuff. Never got a boil on them, not at all. And then the fish we caught during that, we caught on flukes and those other plastics. But we just didn't have enough weight. We had 5 fish. We called a couple of times and still only had 5 pounds. So they were tinies.
Lord.
Yeah. I don't know what the final outcome was on that. We weighed our fish and left. Went and hid. So.
Well, now you've got hardcore this week. Is that correct?
This week, yeah. And it's section 1, so.
Okay, it is. That's one of your best favorite ones. I don't know about the best, but
and
favorite.
I'm gonna call my partner, the guy I'm fishing with this afternoon, and tell him, well, you can look at the results from the last couple of weeks and tell what kind of a pattern I've got. I hope you know.
We're right.
I hope you know where there's
and talk to the guides apparently too, so they in the same boat somewhat.
But it's my plan as of right now. Wednesday when we're pre-fishing, we're gonna have a drop shot in our hand most of the time. I mean, early we'll throw a frog because that seems to be a real productive thing, and it's going to be overcast Wednesday and Thursday. Both are chance of rain both days, so we'll try the top water bite, and then we're going to move out and throw a drop shot. Just see what will happen. Of course, I will throw a Carolina rig. I'm not going to fish and not throw a Carolina rig, but I'll try that drop shot and just see what we can come up with. Hopefully,
Now, who are you fishing with this week? It's one of them guys.
Terry Thompson.
Terry Thompson.
Yeah, right here.
Okay. Yeah, right there.
So.
Yeah. This was the LFAB, the hardcore results of that other.
Yeah. And see, Gary didn't do so good
Yeah.
in the hardcore, but in the LFA last week, he came in, he had 21.
So did he change anything between those 2 weeks? Do you know?
He obviously did. He caught,
okay.
he caught the fish. I don't know what he fished this day.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
he caught them on frogs, is what he said he caught all
Frogs,
these fish on. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. This was my partner, George McCain. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
finished third. And he
Came in third place. We caught 2
20,
fish.
yeah.
The big fish was
362.
362.
Yeah. Anyway, George was a new member. Just he lives up on, or has a place up on Tawakoni, and kind of he's heard about us through Texas fishing for him and came down and been fishing with. He's a good fisherman.
Have y'all been getting many new members?
Yeah,
Anything?
we've had a new guy just about every week.
Well, that's
We've
good.
got just about enough to cover attrition.
Yeah.
You get 50
Yeah.
members and you got one leaving, and especially when the average age is probably 65.
Right. Yeah.
You got people having their knees worked on, their hips worked on, and this and that. And, they'll be out for 6 months and back. But it doesn't discourage them. Everybody wants to fish. So,
Well,
and
yeah.
we need those of you that are listening, if you want to fish with the Lake Fork anglers and don't have a boat or have a small boat, we need co-anglers. You can sit in the back of somebody's boat and learn the lake.
I mean, that to me is an excellent deal.
It is.
I mean, it's crazy not to. If you're watching these videos trying to learn how to fish, that is the best way that you can get people that really, really are on top of what it is every week down there. So it's crazy not to. But man, I'm still editing Mike McFarland's stuff, and I mean it's some really good stuff. But he talks so fast, and sometimes you can miss it if you're not listening really carefully. And he was very candid about what he had there. But I don't know when I'm going to get it out, but I will get it out. And
there are a lot of people in the club that are really interested. They keep asking me, "How's this about
It
the show
is.
bed's coming?" I said,
it's
"He's working
coming.
on it."
It is. Well, I mean, we got a good source there, so and that doesn't mean that's the only time we're going to talk with him or anybody else. But he's got a system that he's used, and the one thing about him, sometimes it takes somebody that comes from out of town to think of something different.
That is true.
And that's part of my aversion to, shell beds, because it's just like I don't know anything,
Yeah.
But he fished that out on the coast and some of those lakes over there, out on the west coast out there. He's from Arizona, but he spent a lot of time in California in that area, and actually went to high school in California I think he might have graduated there or whatever. But at any rate, I mean, he may have some answers that, it's kind of like I got a friend of mine that he's a crazy son of a gun, but he will come up some out of the box type solutions to things that actually make sense, So at any rate, it does. There's some things about it already that I see that people have been fishing that they just didn't know what they were fishing.
Yeah, that's very true.
And he's got some methods of verifying that too, which are really handy. So I'll try to get on that and try to get that out as soon as possible. But at any rate, it's just been really slow.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
But we went to Gibbsland yesterday in Louisiana.
Yes,
That's where Bonnie and Clyde got shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got a little museum over there. And we went through it just to get out of the house,
Huh.
Went over and went through it, and then went down to there's a place about 8 miles south of there where they actually got shot. And it's got a little monument out there, and we just went over and they got a car in there that it's not the car, but it's been shot up, And
Got pictures of the bodies and all that stuff, probably.
Oh yeah, I got the bodies laying out there. I bought a truck one time. Let me tell you this story. I bought a truck, and well, I found it down. They had it for sale down at one of these lots down here. It was a record service over off the loop over there, and it was sitting out in front of it, and it was a Ford pickup. Not bad looking. It was teal colored, and it had a 350 engine in it, you know, and a Vortec. And well, anyway, I got my father-in-law to go down there and get a low ball price on it, you know, because they wanted to get rid of it. You know, they had, you know, it had been in this deal that, and they had money in it for the record service part of it. Well, anyway, I was trying to get everything together, and he got it down to like $1,500, you know, and so I fixed to leave the office up here in Longview, and the phone rang. It's Janie, and I said, I gotta let you go. I'm buying a truck. You buying a truck? I says, yeah, I'm buying a truck, you know. She says, doesn't have any bullet holes in it, does it? And I said, only one. And it did. This guy was running from the cops, and they tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And it had a bullet lodged in the front passenger seat. But it's just odd that you would ask me any bullet holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
As a matter of fact.
It was really hard to say.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to say that.
How did you know to ask?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she knows me pretty well.
Yeah.